projector. So, yes, it's a great pleasure to be here and share with you my research on the automotive industry. And I think this is really, really important, especially as we try to craft an industrial policy for the automotive industry, not only for it to increase its competitiveness and fully develop and be able to take advantage of the potentials that Norio was pointing out earlier in his presentation. So my main objective is to, as I mentioned, identify measures to increase investments, improve competitiveness, and realize the growth potentials of the industry. And I divided the presentation into 4 parts. So first, just be briefly describing the regional landscape with putting a highlight on the changes in the global strategy of automakers. And then we try to look at the different factors affecting MNE's decision on what parts to be assigned to which countries in the region. I think this is important, especially now that we're trying to attract investment. So we need to understand what are these factors that affect the decision of global automakers on where to locate their activities. And then part 3, we will look at the economic performance of the domestic industry, and we'll also go over the factors affecting the competitiveness of the industry, along with FDI inflows to the auto industry. And then finally, we look at some broad policy recommendations on the overall development strategy that the auto industry should take. So first, let me just highlight the main characteristics of the industry. I'm sure you're all familiar with this, but yes, the industry is highly global. It's a high-tech industry. It is capital intensive, and it requires economies of scale in order to be profitable. And cost, quality, reliability, and engineering. This must always be at par with international standards. And then in terms of demand, consumers, they would require a variety of models at reasonable prices. And another characteristic would be global production networks, wherein multinationals fragment the production process, transferring certain stages of the production process to developing countries. And lastly, the industry is characterized by intense competition, and even within the same network, countries have to compete with other subsidiaries of the parent firm. Yeah, here now I'm showing to you production and sales of motor vehicles in the ASEAN market. And as you can see, the first chart, that would be for production, and this is in the ASEAN market. It's heavily dominated by Thailand, Indonesia, and Malaysia, with an average share of almost 90%. And Philippines, that would be the one at the bottom, the purple line. After 1997, you can see from the graph there, that except for the Philippines, the countries were able to expand rapidly, okay? And as a result, Thailand sold 986,143 vehicles in 2009, half of which was exported. Now, in terms of policy, the ASEAN countries, except of course for Malaysia, they all adopted auto-liberalizing policies, like the removal of local content, as well as the removal of their foreign equity restrictions. And they also engaged in tariff reduction through the AFTA CEPT. But then we had the 1997 Asian financial crisis, and as I already mentioned, there's intense competition in the industry, and all these factors, okay, liberalizing policy, AFTA, CEPT, they all led automakers to shift their strategy from a domestic market focus towards an export-oriented one. So multinationals integrated and realigned their production networks of auto assembly and parts making. Can we go back? Yeah, so that chart is an example of regional production network for Mitsubishi Motors operations in Asia. I don't know, maybe it's so hard to see because it's so small, but in that chart, Thailand is the main hub, and with respect to the Philippines, well, what do we export? We export Strada parts to Indonesia and import parts of L300, L200, and there's also an exchange of parts between the Philippines and Thailand, and then we import CPU Lancer from Thailand. Okay. And then another example, this one is for Toyota, the IMV project, where Thailand and Indonesia are the major production and export bases. And what's the role of the Philippines? Philippines is assigned the regional hub for manual transmissions. And apart from this regional production networks, another strategy that global firms adopted was the platform sharing strategy. So in here, they use small number of underbody parts as basis for greater number of vehicle models. For example, Honda uses the same platform for its Odyssey and Accord, and for Ford, same platform for Everest and Mazda, and Mitsubishi, Chrysler. It's same platform for Mitsubishi and Chrysler. And I think even Hyundai does the same. Now here, I'm just showing you the determinants of firms' decision on where to locate, which model or part to produce or to assign to which country, and then for which markets. And according to, this was done by Donner et al., and according to him, this decision relies mainly on cost competitiveness. And cost competitiveness, in turn, is determined by, you can see those squares there, market size and demand characteristics. As we mentioned, market size is important because this industry requires